Episode 58 this week, Specter of the Gun. This one of my favorite episodes. I say it's one of the better ones of Season 3. Basically, the Enterprise are en route to this planet Malkos. The Malkosians have a probe there that says, "We don't want any visitors. Don't come past this warning buoy." So Captain Kirk's like, orders are orders. Let's go past this buoy and see if they want to join the Federation. So they do. When they get there, Kirk takes a landing party down to the planet where they expressly said they didn't want any outside aliens to be. Kirk's like, maybe they'll change their mind once we get down there. They beam down there. Kirk, Spock, McCoy, Scotty, and Chekhov. And there's all this fog. And they're like, that's weird. We didn't notice any fog in the sensor readings we took. That's strange. And then, all of a sudden, they find themselves in Tombstone, Arizona in 1881. Kirk's like, there's something familiar about that. And he's thinking, and he realizes gunfight at the OK Corral. And they're in this like half-finished western town where the buildings aren't complete. And that goings on are close to accurate but not quite, and they realize they are in like the Malkosians like version of the OK Corral. All the people in the town recognize them as the Clanton gang, although they recognize each other as who they really are, but they're not seen that way by the people they interact with. They don't know if it's holograms or if the Malkosians are disguising themselves. They don't know what's going on. This girl at the bar they go into, all over Chekhov. He was more than happy to try to be friendly with the natives. That's what he tried to explain to Kirk. Kirk wasn't buying it. When they try to leave the place, there's a force field. They can only get to the edge of town before they're stopped by the force field. So then they try to reason with the Yerps. The Yerps don't want to hear any reasoning. And Chekhov gets into a fight with Morgan Earp, and Morgan Earp shoots him dead. They're like, oops. There goes Chekhov, and then Spock's like, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't his character supposed to have survived the gunfight? And Kirk's like, he was. He's like, well, the rest of us are doomed then, even though Captain Kirk's Ike Clanton survived the gunfight, and Chekhov's Clanton gang members survived the gang warfare there at the OK Corral. So they don't know what's going on. McCoy's like, what if we knock him out with a tranquilizer? So he goes into the barber shop where Doc Holliday's underneath this towel, and he's like, I need some of these and these and these. And the barber's like, that's his, and he runs out scared. It was Doc Holliday. He didn't buy McCoy's explanation that he was a starship doctor needing some supplies. He's like, well, I'm still Doc Holliday and I'll still shoot you in the head, but take with this stuff. McCoy's like, thanks. And they come up with the tranquilizer. Kirk's like, how did you test it? And they're like, we didn't. And he's like, well, we got like 20 minutes. And Scott's like, I'll test it as long as I'm awake when the shooting commences so I can help. And they're like, fine. He downs a whiskey, tells Spock it's for the pain. Spock says, but this is painless. And Scott was like, well, too late now, I already drank it. And he had. But then the tranquilizer doesn't do a thing. None of the chemicals work. Spock's like, I got it. All of this is an illusion. Nothing's real, so nothing can harm us unless we perceive it to be real, and then we'll succumb to it because of our perceptions. They're like, well, how do we not perceive it as real when bullets are flying? Spock's like, the mind meld. So he mind melds everyone. They don't shoot at the Earps at the shootout. They're completely fine because the bullets go through them. Then the Malkosian like, well, you didn't shoot back. You must be fine. Let's talk about joining your Federation. That was pretty much it. It was a strange one, but well done. Some interesting notes. DeForest Kelly, who of course was Bones Leonard McCoy, was in a few different versions of the OK Corral in several different movies. He used to be a widely regarded Western actor before joining Star Trek, so this was old hat for him back in the OK Corral. A couple of the other extras, also veterans of Western films. They'd been in versions of the OK Corral in Tombstone, Arizona. One of the extras, I believe it was Doc Holliday, that actor later went on to play one of the Nimbus 5 natives when they did Star Trek 5. And if you haven't seen that one, you're luckier than most people. That was an abomination, but that actor was in it. Now this was a cost-cutting measure because they didn't have complete sets, so they said that the Malcotians couldn't finish the way the town was supposed to look because they were using telepathy to scan the minds of the Enterprise crew. And so they only had like half-formed thoughts, since the Enterprise crew wouldn't have had complete remembrances of this town, being it was hundreds and hundreds of years ago for them. So pretty much that's episode 58.